and you start getting deeper into it, and then you start attending more classes, and then you it sort of becomes part of your life, sort of the masochistic part of your life. Acting is a funny kind of profession. It's a kind of a profession that you really know a lot about when you're about 5 or 6 years old. And then when you get to, by the time you reach 17 or 18, you don't know anything about it. So there's something about that how do you get back to that childlike mentality? If you watch a child, they can sit in the corner and they can play and talk to themselves and talk among themselves all by themselves. They can have three-way conversations, or whether it's with dolls or some sort of make-believe friends or what have you, and they have the imagination right there and the facility going for them. And what you got to do as an adult is you just have to break down all the inhibitions that you've laid upon yourself over the years until you can recreate in your mind that kind of imagination. And that's all most acting classes do.
Is it very difficult suddenly to be faced by people who demanded that you throw everything off and behave openly and emotionally, rather fearlessly in front of everybody else?
Very, very difficult. It was very difficult because that wasn't my nature to expose what I was thinking or feeling. And I guess that's why in my early films it was very easy to play people who were covering up or holding back.
I don't think it's nice, you laughing. You see, my mule don't like people laughing. It's the crazy idea you're laughing at him. Now, if you apologize like I know you're going to, I might convince him that you really didn't mean it.
Was it with that character that you began the idea of paring down, of being much as spare as you could?
Yes, that's a thing that comes with experience, with time. You realize that a movie is a series of shots put together, and it's sort of a director's and editor's medium, and you know that you can show a lot by looks that you maybe can't do to the back row of a large theater. It's all punctuation with editing, and so once you learn that process and you like that process yourself, then you can act within that process, and your acting becomes part of the punctuation. You realize how it's going to be done, and if the director doesn't come in and punctuate it, then that reflects on the piece. But if they do, then you can act extremely sparingly and show a lot. However, you have to have an inner life. You have to have a good inner life. If you slough your inner life or you're weak, you don't. It shows also. You can't hide it because you can maybe hide it from the back row, but you can't hide it from that camera that's sitting right in front of you. So you have to develop that inner life, whatever it may be, that's driving this character on, and then you become, hopefully, you become convincing, and people believe that, yeah, that's what he's thinking. And they don't have to have every word. They don't have to hear every word. People are there for a visual experience anyway. Maybe it's a sound experience as well, but if they don't hear the words, they'll write the words in their own mind. Careless of you, old man.
The hero doesn't go around saying a man's got to do what a man's got to do, like John Wayne or James Stewart or Henry Fonda. He says, how much? I'll do it for $500. Now, in Italy, that kind of hooked into a Southern Italian way of looking at things, and it clicked very well with Southern Italian audiences. When it was exported to America, it clicked with the Vietnam generation, who loved the irony, loved the criticism of the American dream as they saw it, and the unusual settings, the unusual faces. So it meant different things in those different cultures. And I think it created problems for Eastwood when he went back home, because it made him seem like very much an outsider from the Hollywood way of doing things. It took him some years, actually, to adjust to his home territory again.
It's also like a lot of parts you subsequently chose and acted and directed, where you have the person who is deliberately outside the system, and one way or another he's going to go his own way. Do you think that was part of the appeal?
In the very first one, the system was all corrupt. The town was in a total corrupt state, and I think people were beginning to feel at that particular time in history that a lot of political regimes were in a corrupt state, and I think nowadays is no different. I think today people are still very dubious. The popularity of politicians in this country is maybe at its all-time low, and I think the trust factor is at its all-time low, where maybe back during World War II we had much more faith in our politicians. But now I think the trust factor is really down there, and people are tired of the bureaucracy. That mentality, that sort of bureaucratic quagmire that we've built for ourselves in modern day mankind is frustrating for the average citizen. It's frustrating for everybody, and I've played a lot of characters who were frustrated with that bureaucracy. In the Dirty Harry films, it was frustrated within the bureaucracy of the law enforcement departments themselves.
What? Where the hell does it say you've got a right to kick down doors, torture suspects, deny medical attention and legal counsel? Where have you been? I mean, you must have heard of the Fourth Amendment. What I'm saying is that man had rights.
Well, I'm all broken up about that man's rights.
With Dirty Harry, Eastwood suddenly found a way of transposing the man with no name character from his Italian movies to an American idiom, and he transposed it by making the baddies the bureaucrats, the politics of resentment, all the red tape that gets in your way and trips you up in everyday life. So you could root for him on that basis.
I think Dirty Harry, one of the things it did was to say, look, if somebody is going to bury a girl alive and shoot school children, is it good enough to have all these bureaucratic tanglements to go through? Can't I just go and get him? And I think that is a powerful thing in people, the idea of just going for something that they feel deeply aggrieved about.
Yeah, I think there's a great frustration. Revenge is a natural kind of emotion, and we have it even as societies, though we have it. That's why societies deal out capital punishment of sorts or what have you. I suppose the ultimate pacifist could say, well, why even imprison a person for a crime? It was, nowadays you see it all the time. People saying, well, I had a bad childhood, or my father kicked me at an early age, tripped over me, or what have you. But the plain fact is there's millions of other people who got a kick too, who turned out to be okay. So, but we live in this world of nobody really taking control of themselves or taking responsibility for themselves. And in the Dirty Harry character, I think that was a guy that he took the responsibility himself, even though there was a lot of mushing going on.
Are you trying to tell me that ballistics can't match the bullet up to this rifle?
It does not matter what ballistics can do. This rifle might make a nice souvenir, but it's inadmissible as evidence.
And who says that?
It's the law.
Well, then the law is crazy.
It's a fun thing to play because that's what we go through now. Everybody will say, well, we don't believe in, somebody will say, well, I don't believe in capital punishment, but then some crazy case comes along or some terrorist bombs a building or something happens and you go, yeah, hang him quick.